office technology partner. BYU was pulling for Pacific on Thursday, trying to get another lost pin to San Diego. They split the season series with the Toreros. Paisley Johnson in the corner. The Cougars were red hot in the first quarter on Thursday, and they pick up right where they left off as Johnson, a 35% three-point shooter, gets BYU on the board. Down low. One of the keys for the Tigers is to attack down low and score. And it is Valerie Higgins averaging just under 17 and 9 rebounds. Our keys to the game are presented by Tim Daly Ford. For the Tigers, got to match BYU's intensity and got to talk on defense. For BYU, the keys for Jeff Judkins and the Cougars, well, you talked about it a moment ago, they got to figure out Higgins.
Yeah.
Got to defend Higgins, score inside.
It looked like they had Brenner trying to front her there, and she just got tripped up on that last play. So hopefully they can still stay in front of her and do what they thought they needed to do in preparing for this game.
Mandawa missed 3, offensive rebound by McDavid. Those keys, by the way, presented by Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968. Tryggedsson gives the Tigers their first lead at 4-3. A senior out of Denmark, started her college career at Colorado State. The Tigers picked up 4 Division I transfers this last season. There's Hampson on a little pick and roll. She doesn't score a lot, averaging just 7 points. Spends most of her time rebounding and blocking shots, but if BYU can get 10 or 12 points out of Hampson, they'll be tough to beat.
For sure, and if they do what they did just right there, they spread the floor, Sarah has all the room on the inside to work with, which really helps a lot.
There's block number 1 for Hampson. And Randawa takes it out of bounds with her and turns it over. Hampson now 301 career blocks, #1 shot blocker in the country. You've had to go against her in practice. What makes her better besides just being tall? As Perry drops in a 3, and BYU up 8-4. Mallie Perry out of Pleasant Grove.
You know, going back to your question about Sarah, what makes her so great is she stays in her feet and she doesn't jump. So as long as she's down in her stance, she's pretty hard to go up against.
Randawa left open. Hampson on the rebound. Alviero. Drollinger open for 3, and that one's too strong.
That was a good shot for Brenna to take. She was open. Paisley had already hit one, and Brenna needs to take those shots.
Whitehead on the rebound. She's got the ball. And Springville. A lot of family here today to watch her back in Utah County. And the handoff to McDavid. And Brooklyn McDavid, a junior out of Studio City, California, gets her first 2. She's shooting 50% from the field. 7th best in the West Coast Conference. Hampson waiting for the ball down low. Now they'll work the other side. Shot clock under 10. Albiero into the lane. A nice scoop off the glass. And Maria Albiero out of Brazil, a junior, gets 2 points. Her role on this team really changed when Gonzalez went down with that knee injury. How's she done?
I think she's done great. She figured out what she needed to do to be the point guard and get everybody space and get everybody where they're supposed to be. And then she takes advantage of everybody being spaced out. So.
Another block by Hampson. Out comes Drollinger. And it is taken away. And back come the Tigers. This is McDavid to Higgins. McDavid on the board. 2 misses from point-blank range. And Perry hands it over to Albiero. Valerie Higgins closing in on the all-time steals record at Pacific. She needs 7 more to be #1. Hampson trying to get it back to Albiero. Now Albiero's got it. And this an air ball way off track and out of bounds.
BYU's come out pretty strong. On that last possession, it looked like they rushed it a little bit, but.
Taking a look at Hampson's second block of the first quarter. 5:51 to go, a 4-point BYU lead. 25 points in the first quarter Thursday night. This is the best quarter BYU's had in a long, long time. All the shots were falling. Different pace this time.
Yes. Pacific's definitely trying to slow him down, make him take less shots. And, you know, BYU's still pulling ahead, so hopefully they can keep putting those balls in the bucket there.
Higgins hands it back, long rainbow three, and that's good. And Tryggedson's 28% on the season. She's got 5 points. It's 10-9. Jessica Blakesley got hurt, lost for the season during the earlier meeting against these Cougars. Jasmine Moody's into the game. They feed her down low, and she gets hit hard. Chalet Salmon in for BYU as well.
Jasmine's a really tough player. She's hard to guard. She's very physical, and it takes a lot to get her on the ground like that, so that's a pretty tough foul.
Kaylee Smiler checks in for BYU. Johnson up for three. Hit her first, misses the second. Randawa on the run for the Tigers. Pacific had a legitimate shot at beating San Diego Thursday in a very physical back and forth fourth quarter. Defensive pressure in the end got the Tigers a much different style that they're getting from BYU today, and they're playing a much taller team. Johnson picks up the loose ball, and here comes Albiero.
Paisley's just a lockdown defender. Judkins really trusts her on the best player on each team, and she's done a great job so far.
Turnover, Smiler threw it too high. Second turnover for BYU. And here's Valerie Higgins. Started her career at USC, 15 starts for the Trojans. Transferred over. It's her junior year, and she has been nothing but spectacular. Can't handle the pass back. And this will go as a Tiger turnover, their second of this opening quarter. Takes us to our first timeout. We expect a tight one, and that's what we're getting. It's 10-9 Cougars, 4:06 to play here in the first play. Johnson, 31 points attacking this defense in their first meeting. She's got 3 so far. No doubt the Tigers are keeping an eye on Paisley. There's Albiero up top, Drollinger. Now back to Paisley. Shot clock under 10. And an offensive foul. This will go against Drollinger. That's her first. They'll give the ball back to the Tigers. This is the 19th meeting between these two. BYU leads 14-4, 6-2 against the Tigers here in Provo. Back on January 17th, that first meeting, the Cougars won by 10 in overtime. Back and forth they went, but they got into the extra period, and the Tigers just couldn't buy a basket. And BYU pulled away. Drollinger on the drive, back to Johnson. There's Moody down low. Salmon from the free throw line. Fight on the rebound, and that's going to be a foul on Moody, senior out of Honolulu, and that's her first. Coming into this game, the Tigers are number 2 in the league in scoring. BYU's number 9. So top to bottom. But then you look at scoring defense, BYU's number 2, and Pacific is number 5. In scoring, in defending the shot, BYU's number 2 in the country. They're holding teams to 32% shooting. Drollinger has it stolen away. And that steal by Cassidy Johnson from nearby Lehigh. Getting some early minutes. Some wheeling and dealing.
BYU cannot let Higgins get into the middle of the 2. They need to force her baseline and make her kick the ball and make somebody else score on them.
4 points for Higgins, 1 point Pacific lead. Drollinger. Here's Salmon. Double team, passes to the corner. An air ball chased down by Albiero, and that'll be a foul on the Tigers as it's knocked out of bounds. And Callie Kaiser picks up her first. 4 new Tigers checking into the game, and Hampson returns as we look at Higgins with the basketball very much at home on the drive. one of the great talents in the WCC. Like a hockey line change for Pacific. As Johnson did a lot of her damage in that first meeting, slashing to the basket. Has not been able to do that here in the opening quarter in the rematch. Here's Paisley.
What's even crazier about Paisley's performance last time they played Pacific is she did it on a sprained ankle that was very large.
Albiero had to beat the shot clock. Drollinger comes up with a loose ball. Here's Moody going to work. Left hand off the glass. And the rebound to Tryggedsson. BYU hasn't scored in over 5 minutes. McDavid. Doesn't take much room for McDavid to get a shot off. And it's Albiero coming with it. Drollinger. Back to Johnson. Final minute of this opening quarter. Paisley up for 2. And here come the Tigers. Rendawa. Up for 3. And it's Tryggedsson. She's 28%, but she's hit 2 today. And the Tigers have their largest lead of 4.
That just looked like a miscommunication. They didn't know who they were guarding, and you can't leave people that open or they're going to make them.
That 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Tigers on an 8-0 run. BYU holding for the final shot. Johnson dribbles away from the double team, hands it to Moody, and that's tapped out. Half-court shot just about goes for Rendawa, but it's a good opening quarter for Pacific. They've come into Provo and they've taken a 4-point. This afternoon, San Diego's hosting St. Mary's, who was here on Thursday. That's another key game when it comes to the consideration of that second place finish. Each team with about 4 games remaining after today. Smiler hands it over to Drollinger. BYU's got to get that lid off the basket. Tigers have held them scoreless for 7 minutes. Johnson. Jeff Judkins told us in the discussion of the best player in the league, certainly Valerie Higgins is right up there, and he says Paisley has to be considered as well for all the areas that she contributes.
It's true. Paisley can score, and she's a knockdown defender. She's a very well-rounded player and can do a little bit of it all, which puts her right up there in the running for that.
Drollinger picks up the foul, diving for the loose ball. That's number 2 on Brenna. Paisley 9th in the league in scoring, 5th in free throw percentage, 9th in 3-pointers made, number 5 in minutes played. MVP of last year's WCC tournament. Snubbed from the first team all-conference squad. Then went into Las Vegas and put on a show. Scored 19 points in that championship win over Gonzaga. 14-12 Tigers. McDavid leaves it short, gets her own rebound, puts it in. Brooklyn McDavid, second on the team with 133 rebounds. She's got 4 points. Had a nice game, 19 against the Cougars in Stockton. Drollinger misfiring on the layup. This is McDavid. Won't challenge Hampson down low, and it's kicked by Johnson. Albiero's going to come in, and Drollinger will go out for BYU with those 2 personal fouls. Paisley Johnson's assignment is Valerie Higgins, and Jeff Judkins told us he's got to keep her out of foul trouble. So far, she's hasn't picked up any fouls. Tigers nearly turn it over. Here comes Higgins, swatted by Hampson. 3rd block here in the first half. Albiero to Johnson, and Johnson's fouled. She'll go to the free throw line. Tigers getting back quick defensively.
That was some unselfish play right there by Maria. That pass was a great pass, and you hope Paisley can put that in, but it was a great run by those two.
Isabel Newman picks up her first foul as the nation's #1 shot blocker, doing her thing. Missed free throw by Johnson. BYU is a poor free throw shooting team. They're 9th in the conference at just 67%. They're 50% on that trip. Johnson was 6. The Tiger lead is 3.
BYU's transitioned into a zone defense here, and I'm interested to see how well they'll rebound after that still anyways. But
Smiler comes out with it. Hands it to Paisley. We'll see if they work Hampson down low. In it comes. Triple team. Throws it away. Tigers trying to get it down the floor. Tryggedsson off her foot. Now it's a 3, and this one's short. And this is Smiler. Johnson calling for it. Now she's got it. Looks for a lane. Driving on Tryggedsson. And here come the Tigers. Whitehead, 6'2", sophomore out of Springville. Served a church mission to Winter Quarters, Nebraska. And mentioned the whole team's going over to the Whiteheads for dinner after this one. Tigers with 2 local kids, one from Lehigh, one from Springville. There's a turnover for Pacific. Gives the ball back to BYU, and for the first time today, Babalu Ugu checks in. And Perry will check out. This seems to be a tailor-made kind of matchup for Ugu with her physicality. We'll see if she can take advantage of some moments here. She started most of the season, but Judkins put Perry in the last 2 games. I think he's kind of trying to send her a message, Ugu.
yeah, for sure. Judkins did that last year in that 4 position as well. He sees the advantage of certain players and challenges other players by changing that position up a lot.
Here's Ugu with the ball. Shot clock under 10. In the corner, Albiero throws it away. Throws it right to Higgins. Albiero trying to chase her down. And now Tryggedsson hands it up top. Mandawa. Tryggedsson up for 3. She's got another one. Her 3rd here in the first half.
That's 3 for 4 for her, and she's going to keep shooting them. BYU needs to get out on her a little quicker now.
Her season high was 17 at St. Mary's. She's on pace for a big afternoon. She's got 11 so far as Johnson tries to answer, and it's Tryggedsson on the rebound. 19-13. Tryggedsson gets away with a turnover and now a reach-in foul on Ugu. And that'll be her first.
That's unfortunate. That ball was loose, and Babalu just got pushed behind her. And you know, you don't want to reach in there, but you can see that she was trying to be intense and fight for that possession.
Tryggedsson pulling the trigger on a trio of 3s here in the first half. 6-point lead. Here's Higgins. Tryggedsson again. This one's an air ball, but it's fielded by Higgins. Another offensive board and another block for Hampson. BYU out with it. That's 4 blocks for Hampson. Here's Ugu off the glass and in. Brings the crowd to its feet. Ugu's got her first 2.
That's just fun basketball to watch when everybody gets running like that and you see a great pass and a great finish.
Jordan Cruz into the game. Started her career at the University of Utah. McDavid blocked by Hampson. Sarah with 5 blocks. She had 8 in the earlier meeting. Her season high was 9 against Portland. And so she too is on.
She's gonna beat her mom. She is. I'm calling it. You can next year. She's gonna do it.
All right. She'll have a lot of work to do, but she is making up a lot of ground after the timeout. The 3 ball is off by Cruz. And here come the Cougars. Drollinger trying to pick up the pace.
When BYU's scoring, they're spreading the floor. And when they're having their droughts, it's one pass and ISO. And I think they need to, hopefully they talked about it in that huddle, Judkins to BYU, that they need to spread the floor and take their shot clock and take a good shot.
Johnson in position, draws the offensive foul. And that'll go against Valerie Higgins. It's her first. See if they work to get Ugu down low. Had her a moment ago, and Albiero missed it. Here comes Johnson. This is Ugu waiting for Hampson. Now hands it to Drollinger. And try the left side. Lob in to Hampson. Doesn't shoot a lot, but has the league's best field goal percentage of anybody. The pass out to Drollinger, and Brenna gets her first shot of the game. It's a 1-point, 19-18 Tiger lead.
It's just so much easier when you spread the floor like that, and BYU just took advantage of it right there with that pass out after a lot of passes inside. Great.
Johnson on the run, up for 2. And Paisley's missed her last 3. Back come the Tigers. Tryggedsson. Cutting to the basket is Higgins. And Higgins is fouled. And that'll go against Paisley Johnson. And that's her first. It's a busy day here on BYU TV. Coming up later tonight. 16th ranked BYU hosts Boise State. Women's gymnastics. Senior Shannon Evans, junior Abby Miner and company look to put on a big show from the Smith Fieldhouse. It's live, 9 o'clock Eastern time, right here on BYU TV. Quick whistle on the inbounds pass. And this is a foul on Drollinger, and that'll be her 3rd. And if the Tigers are smart, they would attack her right here and try and get her 4th. Into the lane. Whistle and a foul. And that's going to send Loretta Kakala to the free throw line. Just looking at Drollinger coming out with 3 fouls as Smiler comes in. Kakala's at the line. She's a sophomore, a transfer from Louisville. And this is just her first year. Well, she hasn't played for 2 years. She's kind of a big star just in the waiting. Donald's All-American out of high school. And getting her first minutes of action. Misses the free throws as Ugu chases him down. 19-18. Smiler. Here's Ugu. Gets it back. Passes on the 3. Albiero with it. 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Our score box is presented by Brady Industries, a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment, as Johnson knocks down the 3-pointer, and the Cougars are back in the lead. Paisley with 9. 21-19.
The last few possessions for BYU have been really good. They've been spreading the floor and really getting a lot of passes and finding the open shot a little further into the shot clock.
It's a foul against Albiero. No, it's a foul on Tryggedsson, I think. We're waiting for the official to work it out. It looks like it'll go against Albiero, although she's claiming that she was cleared out by an elbow. That's her first. And Higgins will go to the line. 70% free throw shooter for Valerie Higgins. Former Player of the Year, Southern California. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year. There's Melanie Day, member of Jeff Judkins' staff. And we will look at the challenging road she has been traveling. That's coming up at halftime as Higgins ties us at 21. Valerie with 6 points. Ugu with it. Thought about the 3. Waiting for someone to come get it. Backdoor cut, Albiero. Nice handoff. Salmon can't finish it. Gets the offensive board. Here's Johnson to finish. Got it. And Paisley with 12.
That was all due to Chalet getting her own rebound right there when she missed that layup. and getting BYU back into the offense. That was great when you can be strong like that and help your team.
Tryggedsson. Randawa, a step back three. An air ball. Fight for the rebound. It's off the Tigers. It'll be BYU ball. Randawa down there with Ugu. And the Cougars get the call. Albiero with the ball. BYU up 3. This game very similar to the first one that went into overtime before the Cougars won it. Albiero worked hard to get to the rim, just couldn't finish it. Here's a 3 for Tryggedsson. She's cooled off. And it's Ugu out with it. She goes down. The foul will go against Savannah Whitehead, and that's Savannah's first. He's getting a little more physical and a little sloppy here late in the first half. Tigers have missed their last 8 shots from the field. See if the Cougars can make them pay. Johnson's got the hot hand. Albiero waits for Paisley. From the free throw line, a little strong. Tapped out to Ugu. Under a minute to go.
These O boards are awesome for BYU. Take the time off the clock, get the shots they want, and keep their lead.
Salmon with it. Left hand, that's too strong. And Ugu's come charging in over the back and picks up the personal foul. And that's her second. Boy, BYU's missed a handful of shots right at the rim. And with 46 seconds to go, we'll take the long walk to the other end of the floor. Pacific's 4th in the league in free throws. We mentioned earlier BYU's number 9. If it comes down to the stripe, the advantage to the Tigers. Whitehead's 86% on the year. Gets it to go. Former state champion at Springville High School, about 20 minutes from the Marriott Center. 15 starts as a freshman before she left on that church mission. Made the start tonight for the 7th time this season, and she's got 2 points. It's a 1-point game. Albiero all the way in. Kick. Johnson open for 3, and she's got another one. 31 in the first meeting, and Paisley's got 15 in the rematch. Higgins. Randawa with it. Deep 3, and that one's good, and it's Tryggedsson again.
That was a good answer from Tryggedsson. Paisley had both her hands in her face, trying not to let her make that basket.
Sophie's got 14. Last shot of the half coming here. Shot clock's off. Albiero looking for some room. Gonna have to go up with it. Off the glass. And the third missed layup by Albiero here in the half. And it's a 1-point game. 27-26 at the break. 8 against St. Mary's. And she made a lot of noise here in the first half. Drollinger looking to get going, playing with those 3 fouls. The halftime advantage has been big for BYU. They're 13-1 when leading at the break. Drollinger on the steal. Has to throw it back into the middle of the floor. It gets to Perry. Over to Albiero. And Albiero gets it back. Now here's Drollinger. She started it with a steal. Finishes it with a 3.
That's exactly why Brenna Drollinger needs to be in the game and not get those fouls. She's just a force to be reckoned with.
Cougars by 4. And a quick timeout called by Bradley Davis. Not happy with how the Tigers, after the Tigers' quick timeout just 45 seconds into the third quarter, we get back to work. Tryggedsson. I think we'll have a little more attention from BYU's defense here in the second half. She's up for 3. That one went down and climbed back out. Fight for the board. Tigers get another shot at it. McDavid down there battling. Wins an extra possession. Here's McDavid. Hampson can't stop Whitehead, and Whitehead's first field goal of the game. She's got 4 points. And that's the first time that the Tigers have challenged Hampson without getting their shot blocked. Sarah on the rebound. Albiero thought about the three, hands it to Johnson. Here's Perry. Now Drollinger with it. Drilled a three a moment ago and throws it out of bounds.
BYU's done pretty good on turnovers this game, but that's one of the ones where you just can't do that. Wish you had that back.
6 turnovers. Kelly Kaiser into the game now for the Tigers. 30-28. This is Kaiser. McDavid over Hampson. She had to go way up for that one, and it comes down right the hoop for 6 points for McDavid. So they've challenged Sarah on back-to-back possessions and have hit both shots. Drollinger hands it to Johnson. Perry. Strong on the long offering, and Higgins has it. Tied up at 30. Tryggedsson. Back to Higgins. This is Kaiser. See if they attack the basket again. Higgins working her way in. Moving around. Hampson is blocked. It's knocked out of bounds off of BYU.
BYU transitioned into a zone this half, and it let Higgins get into the middle of the court, but Sarah was there to bail him out.
Tryggedsson. It's back to Higgins. McDavid. Tryggedsson open for three. We've got another foul on the rebound. This is going to go against BYU. And it is Perry. And Mally Perry picks up her first. And Moody will come in. Perry will go out.
Judkins has a pretty deep bench and can sub people in when there's fouls, but you still want that foul count to get up there late in the game. Can come back to hurt you.
Get a little more muscle down there with Moody. And Perry's 6'5", but much more comfortable shooting outside. Another wide open look. Hampson on the rebound as Kaiser can't hit. Out ahead, Albiero to Johnson. And Paisley's fouled. She'll go to the line. Tigers back quickly to prevent the layup. But Johnson will go to the free throw line. She'll shoot 2 as Kaiser picks up her second. And Cassidy Johnson, redshirt freshman out of Lehigh, is back in as Brooklyn McDavid will come out for a few minutes. She won't be out too long, but she's a key player for the Tigers. Johnson at 80% on the season from the free throw line, has 16 points. Now with 17, the Cougars back to a 2-point lead. Full court pressure for BYU, given a much different look, and the Tigers throw it away. Drollinger to Johnson to make him pay for 3. Too strong. Fight for the board off of BYU as Moody touched it last. Now full court pressure again. San Diego gave Pacific all kinds of trouble in the fourth quarter with that full court press. Tryggedsson up for 3, got it. That'll beat the press. 17 for Tryggedsson and a 1-point Tigers lead. That matches Tryggerdson's season high, 17 at St. Mary's and 17 here in Provo. 17 of the Tigers' 33. It's the Johnson and Tryggedsson show. Albiero, shot clock's at 10. And pick and roll to Hampson. Moody on the rebound, and she's fouled going up. Just the second shot attempt this game for 6'7" Sarah Hampson. Third foul on Kaiser right there. Sarah giving the official that look like I was fouled 3 or 4 times, but she did lose the ball going up. Free throw is short by Moody, just 52% on the year. That bodes well for the second shot.
BYU's been performing really well when they spread the floor and go in and out, and it looked good to see them go in a little bit more often and give Sarah some advantage under there too with her height.
First point of the game for Moody. We're tied at 33. Here's Tryggedsson. Inside turnaround. Bucket for Johnson. And the Lehigh, Utah product has her first 2. Tigers by 2. Drollinger leaving it for Hampson. Beautiful pass. And Sarah now with 4.
Having someone as tall as Sarah in there makes that pass so much easier because she's a hand above anybody around. It's such a great pass to give to Sarah.
That's one thing that Shaylee Gonzalez is really good at that they've missed this season, is getting the ball to Hampson in the right spot. And there's Kaiser hitting a 3, her first of the game. Tigers by 3. When you're 6'7" and athletic and you get the ball in the right spot, almost impossible to stop. Johnson answers with a 3. Paisley with 20. Back and forth we go, tied at 38. These are 2 teams fighting to be relevant down the stretch here in the WCC. BYU with a legitimate shot at the 2 seed. Inside. Shots off by Tryggedsson. She stepped inside the defense. Got an open look for 3. Johnson throws it right to Tryggedsson, and back we come the other way. Higgins. Lane closes off. And this is Kaiser. Drives to her left. Off the glass. And climbs out. Halfway in, and then it came back out. Another bad pass. This one from Drollinger to Tryggedsson for 3. Drollinger on the rebound. Jeff Judkins saying, hey, let's slow down.
Yes, let's slow down. And
2 passes right to the Tigers and back-to-back possessions.
Let's get a good possession out of this one after those 2 turnovers.
Drollinger to Albiero. Albiero for 3. Her first 3 of the afternoon. She's got 5 points, and now the Cougars with back-to-back 3s, lead it by 3. The intensity is picked up here in the arena. Here's Higgins challenging Hampson, and Hampson picks up the foul. That'll send Higgins to the line. That's where she will be when we come back. 3:25 to go here in the 3rd. Paisley Johnson right over Higgins for 3. And then moments later, Albiero knocks in the 3. Life here as we get close to the spring outside conditions as Higgins misses the free throw. Higgins with 6 and McDavid with 6. Those are the 2 top guns for the Tigers, have been kept at bay so far. Tryggedson's been the difference maker for Pacific. Johnson's the difference maker for BYU as Drollinger with just 6, Hampson with just 4, but Paisley has 20. 3:20 to go here in the 3rd. Drollinger into Hampson. That's twice now. Drollinger's delivered perfect passes down low where no one can stop Hampson, and she's got 6.
That was a great drawn-up play right there by Judkins to get them going out of this timeout.
Up for 3. That's a bit strong. And here comes BYU. Albiero. Hand off to Johnson. Here comes Hampson on the pick and roll. Up top, Albiero. Drollinger, shot clock under 10. There's another one. This time, Sarah's off the mark. Whitehead on the rebound. Tryggedsson with it. Rendawa on the move. She's got it now. Man-to-man look defensively. Johnson working Tryggedsson. She was assigned Higgins. Now she's moved to the hot hand. Shot clock's at 2. Kaiser to beat it. And can't do it with the air ball. A good defensive trip down the floor for BYU. And the 9th turnover for Pacific. Hampson will come out and Salmon's back in.
Sorry about that. That was great defense by BYU. Pacific's main goal is to get in the middle of that key and either get a layup or dish it out, and they couldn't find their way in there that time.
Our score box is presented by Brady Industries, a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment. Albiero. This is Drollinger up for 3. Got it. Open just long enough. And Brennan now with 9. And BYU with their largest lead of 7. Dawa to answer, off to the right. Out of bounds. Last touch by Pacific. BYU on an 11-1 run. Now the Tigers are going to try to change things up defensively and put a little pressure on BYU in the backcourt. Albiero walks it down. Johnson. Get it back, Paisley. We near a minute to play here in the 3rd. Salmon. This is Salmon to Moody. And Moody's fouled, muscling it up. She'll go back to the line.
They've been really trying to muscle up Moody this game, and she's been to the line quite a few times already.
She had a big physical game with Pacific in the first meeting. 9 points and 7 rebounds as McDavid picks up her first. And Moody a little quieter here in the rematch, but a chance to build on BYU's largest lead. Ever wonder what happens to the contestants after their time on Relative Race? Follow the Relative Race on social media at Relative Race for an exciting Where Are They Now series, highlighting your favorite teams from every season. And don't forget to download the free BYU TV app. You can binge watch the Relative Race from start to finish. (47-39). Final minute of the 3rd. Moody again. Great entry pass by Albiero. Moody with 4. Albiero with 8 assists. That's a season high for Albiero. Tryggedsson and the foul to answer right back for Pacific. And it is Moody picking up her 2nd and sends Tryggedsson to the line. That is a very important trip down the floor for Pacific. Salmon hands it over to Albiero. Tryggedsson tying her career high of 19 points. BYU will settle for the final shot here in the 3rd quarter. Albiero likely to wait for Paisley Johnson. Here comes Paisley. Under 10. Johnson, step back 3, it's blocked. And that's how the quarter will end. And BYU builds on their 1-point halftime lead. They're up 49-41 after. And Pacific at 7-7. Still working on positioning themselves for a good seed in the upcoming conference tournament. Johnson inside to Salmon. We start the 4th. Gets it back. Now Paisley on the drive. Pull-up jumper. Tap back out. And it's Drollinger up for 3. And that one rattles out. Whitehead corrals it, hands it over to Tryggedsson. McDavid. Clearly their effort to get it to the hot hand Tryggedsson. Now they attack down low, and it's out of bounds. It will belong to BYU.
I have a slight advantage of knowing what Judkins is calling sometimes from playing last year. And this second half, he's been calling a lot more sets instead of letting them run their motion. And I think it's really working for him.
Tapped out. And a reach-in foul by Johnson. Rendawa had it, and Paisley reached in. That's her second, and Hampson's going to come in. And Salmon's going to go out. BYU going to look to get a little more active down at the rim. 49-41, a softball season. Can you believe that? Cougars playing a doubleheader in San Diego against Cal State Fullerton and San Diego State. First 27 games on the road for BYU before coming home March 19th against Montana. From the corner, Tryggedsson, another three and a career high, 22 points. 49-44. He played 4 years for BYU softball. How many home runs did he hit?
I'm not quite sure. We'll say like above 20.
Above 20?
Yeah.
They ever get old?
No.
Never won?
I missed them.
You missed them.
Basketball's fun. You can go play it, but you can't really go play softball by yourself.
That's true. That's true. Johnson, shot clock's at 5. She's going to have to go up to beat the shot clock. A rainbow by Albiero. Tigers chase it down. 5-point game, 8 minutes to play. Rendawa handing it over to Higgins. You got to figure at some point Higgins is going to show herself. One of the best players in the league in about every statistic. Kept at bay. McDavid up over Hampson. Once again going up real high. She's got 8 points. It's a 3-point game.
Her shot form is basically impossible to block. I mean, she's getting up and over Sarah Hampson. It's impressive.
Albiero hands it to Drollinger. Now Johnson. And Johnson's fouled by Higgins. And that'll be the second foul on Higgins. You see McDavid going way up over the outstretched arm of 6'7" Sarah Hampson. She's done that twice so far today. Albiero in the corner, up for 3, good! That's her second of the second half. 8 points for Albiero.
Maria can nail down the elbow shot and that corner 3. You don't want to leave her open there.
When you're worried about Drollinger and Johnson and you get a third, makes you a very dangerous team. Tryggedsson. Hampson on the rebound. Hampson with 6 boards. Moody again. Left hand, off the mark. Tryggedsson can't shake Albiero. This is Whitehead. Slashing to the basket. Left short is Higgins. Johnson out with it. Back to Albiero. Wide open for 3 more. Yes! A fist pump for head coach Jeff Judkins. 11 for Albiero and a timeout called by Pacific. Tigers had it within 3 and BYU pushes it second best in the league. Here's Higgins. Give and go. Hampson, another block. Moody, a battle down on the low block as Moody ties up Kekala. Hampson with 8 blocks. And an offensive foul. You say, saw Albiero go flying out of play. And it's a foul against the Tigers. And Kekala picks up her first. Now we're in the danger zone for the Tigers, down by 9. Johnson coming around the corner. Albiero waits for Drollinger. Drollinger for 3. And here comes Pacific.
Pacific's been running the ball through Tryggedsson, trying to keep her hot, and also giving the ball to Higgins, trying to get her going at the end of this game.
Tryggersson's got it here, working a career high 22. Drollinger picks up her 4th foul. with 5:21 to go, and that's going to send Tryggedsson to the free throw line. This is the stage where the senior has got to be smart with just one foul, and then she'll be disqualified. 6 3-pointers made today by Tryggedsson. Gets the free throw to go down. 23 points. Now with 24. 24 of the 48 from one player for Pacific. And they're not either of the players that we would have said for sure would have had those games with Higgins and McDavid.
True.
Johnson draws a foul. She'll go to the line. And the foul is on Sofie Tryggedsson. And that's her second. McDavid comes back in along with Savannah Whitehead. Millard and Kakala go to the bench as Paisley hits her first.
Coach Judkins is showing a lot of faith in Brenna Jollinger right now, leaving her in with 5 minutes to go and 4 fouls.
Johnson gets them both. 22 for Paisley. Her career high is 31 against this same defense last month. Here's Higgins driving on Johnson. Tryggedsson for 3 more. McDavid on the rebound. Right back to the hot hand. Higgins to Whitehead. Shot clock's at 3. Gonna have to go up with it. Leaving it short. Rendawa, and here comes BYU. Albiero has been the Cougar with a hot hand here in the second half. Pick and roll as Hampson goes to the basket. Albiero up for 2. She's in the zone. She's got 13. 3 shy of her career high.
Like I said earlier, you don't give Maria the elbow and you don't give her the corner. She puts those in a lot.
Higgins throws it away. Johnson hit the floor, and then Higgins trying to get it down low, throws the ball away, turns it over to BYU with 4:02 to go. And Jeff Judkins wants a timeout. 59-48 Cougars. 8th in assists, 10th in 3-point shots. We watched her work out today during shoot around. She's on the mend, and she will be a force to be reckoned with for the next 3 years. Best player in the league?
For sure. I think she'll attain that multiple times. She brings such composure even as just a freshman. She brought so much to the team that they missed out on a lot this year with her.
She says that sitting out and watching and studying the game has helped her. We saw that work with Yoli Childs at BYU on the men's team. And she'll have Sarah Hampson back. She'll have most of this team back. Paisley Johnson, and no doubt BYU will be picked to win the league going into next season with Gonzalez back at the point guard spot.
Yeah, it'll be a very fun season to watch with her back on the ball.
Shot clock's at 6. Johnson's going to have to go up to beat it. In the corner, leaves it for Sarah Hampson as the shot clock expires. And Hampson with 8. 61-48 Cougars. That play and that sequence may be the deal breaker here today. Still plenty of time left, but with a shot clock winding down to end up with a layup. McDavid knocks the ball out of bounds away from Hampson as we take another look.
You know, when the time's running out like that, it was really impressive for Paisley to have vision to get that ball up to Hampson where she could score it with such little time left.
Drollinger with it now as we get close to 3 minutes to play. BYU men later tonight at 10 Eastern time on the CBS Sports Network at San Diego. Drollinger, shot clock's under 10. Albiero, another 3 on a day like today. This one's left short. I think even she's surprised that didn't go in.
I was gonna say, that's a good shot. Maria's been hot and her team got her that shot and she'll make the next one.
Tryggedsson with it now. Rendawa short on the three. Hampson chases down the board. 7 rebounds for Hampson. Johnson showing some patience. Now goes down low. Moody. She was fouled, but did she travel before she was fouled? And the foul will go against McDavid. Now what was about to happen there is one official was going to call her for traveling. And the outside official, to his credit, ran in and said, wait, there was a foul before the travel. Charles Gonzalez, Cheryl Flores, and Tyler Trimble are officiating crew here in Provo today. And Moody's at the line. Three points for Jasmine Moody, one of the few seniors on this roster. Salmon's a senior, Drollinger's a senior, and that's it. And they've got some firepower coming into the redshirting this season, in addition to Gonzalez, so Jeff Judkins is in good shape moving forward. Right now, he's just trying to get a second place finish, a 2 seed in the tournament, and considering doing all that without Gonzalez, a tremendous job by the coaching staff. And there's a 3 by Rendawa. Her first basket of the game. It comes with 1:52 to go. And cuts the BYU leaders. Drollinger goes deep. And Johnson, 2 off the glass. Cherry picking for her 24th point. Hey, look, when everyone's up, you take off, right? Just
take advantage of what they give you.
Smart play by the senior throwing it in, and the junior heading down the floor. And Moody picks up her 3rd. And Hampson's coming right back in, and now Ugu will come out. Jeff Judkins looking for career win number 408 in 19 seasons. His run has been spectacular. 12 seasons and 20 or more wins. 9 trips to the NCAA tournament, including last year, and 4-time conference coach of the year. Off of Tryggedsson, and it'll be BYU basketball. You played for Jeff Judkins. What works?
He works. He puts a lot of effort into his teams and into what he's done. I mean, he has a lot of heart in creating players that are well-rounded and can really play together and play in any situation.
He's had to do it with a bunch of different lineups here this year, including switching out his starting 5 on Thursday for a whole new group, adding Perry into the mix for the first time. Did that again today. Late in the season, still tinkering with what's going to work. And a minute away from capping off a really good week. Ugu stopped and denied by McDavid. This is Newman out with it. 1 minute to play. McDavid gets it back and knocks it in over Moody. A timeout call by Pacific. 10 points now for Brooklyn McDavid. Showed the other night in their loss to St. Mary's that they are very beatable. There's about 4 teams in the league that could catch them on the right day. BYU's one of them, although they've been swept by the Zags here in the regular season. Pacific's not going to foul, quite evident here as time allowed to tick away. Under 10 on the shot clock. And this will be an offensive foul on Moody, trying to move McDavid and give Drollinger a lane to the basket. 31 seconds to play, and the Tigers have it. How about Valerie Higgins? BYU's defensive effort on Higgins has been a game changer.
For sure, and props to Tryggedsson to come in and have a hot hand and try to, scoop up those points that Higgins couldn't find.
Little tripping foul on Ugu. That'll send Higgins to the line. When you go on the road, it doesn't matter what sport, your stars have to shine. And when the Stars struggle on the road, those are tough games to win. And Higgins is 2 of 9 from the field today. This 8-point performance is, about half 2%. And BYU is number 2 in the country So once again, the Cougar defense has held their opponent to 32% from the field. And that is a calling card for finding success in Las Vegas. 24 seconds to go, 11-point game. Drollinger, Paisley, they'll play back and forth. Those 5 threes for Paisley Johnson today, career highs. Albiero with career high in assists. Johnson with career high in 5 threes. And BYU gets an all-important 10th win in conference play, 65-54. Cougars go to 10-4, 15-9 overall. And the Tigers dropped to 7-8 in the WCC, 14-12 on the season. Johnson and Albiero. Quite the tag team today, as you see Paisley Johnson's 24. I think the Tigers are done seeing Paisley till next year. 31 in the first meeting.